What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Tremonti. Yes, indeed, Tremonti Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Random Viewer. Seriously, that's the YouTube name, Random Viewer. And Random Viewer wanted to see me react to this is Tremonti with a tune called Cauterize. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Tremonti, okay? And the video has 289,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Cauterize. That's all I got. Look, this is the link I was given, so if we're in the wrong place, don't blame me. Blame Random Viewer. What a name. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Wow. Next couplets. I like that switch up. When they're doing the sextuplets, they did the switch up where they went from straight time feel to a halftime feel while maintaining those sextuplets. That was nice. Very nicely done. Very smoothly done. Everything sounds good. Guitar tone sounds good. Nice, thick, and crunchy without being too thick. Drums sound really nice. A lot of reverb on the snare. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe a little too wet. Maybe think about drying out that snare just a touch. But I mean, it still sounds good. It still sounds fine. Vocals sound good. I wouldn't mind it if the vocals were just up a little bit higher in the mix. I could hear it, but it's it feels like the vocals are, at times, it feels like the vocals and the guitar are kind of in competition with each other to see who can be louder. And vocals honestly should be at the forefront. So I don't know about that. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Make no mistake. No mistake. Take the sun and cauterize. Make us pure again. All the ways.
Actually, this is straight. We were in double time before. Double time. Okay. Switching between double time, straight time, half time. Each time they do it, it's smooth. It's really smooth. I like how they're doing it. And I like how they're not relying on one or the other for too long, and they're giving each one its due. So I appreciate that. The vocal harmonies are strong. They are definitely strong, and they're definitely being well done. If I'm being honest, it feels to me like they're being a little overly utilized. They sound good, they do, but when you use them too frequently, it takes away from the uniqueness. It takes away from the specialness of the harmonies. I would have preferred that they were a little more strategic in their placement rather than relying on harmonies through the entire chorus. You know what I mean? Maybe use them for half of the chorus in specific places, like maybe, I mean, even if the simple route, every second and fourth line, you know, sure. Yeah, that would be it. You would cut down the number by half and still get them in specific places. I would even be an advocate of saying every third, you know, the third out of every fourth. So on the first and second line, no harmonies. Third line, harmonize. Fourth line, no. And then maybe on the next verse, if it's the next phrase, first line, no. Second line, no. Third and fourth line, yes, harmonize those. Make it a little more special, a little more sparse, so it's not so predictable. Right now, every time we get to the chorus, it's like, oh, harmonize the entire thing. Bam, there it is. And it's there. Well, what's so special about that? The harmonies themselves? Yeah, the harmonies themselves, they are special, sure. But is the placement special? Is the utilization special? No, it's not. Anyway, let's finish this out. We'll get to the review. I like that ending. I like that ending. I know normally I would say it feels kind of anticlimactic, but I'll be honest with you, folks. I think that ending was needed. Since they didn't do, here's the thing: that ending would have made a perfect bridge before the chorus, before the last chorus. I think that would have been a perfect bridge. Something like that was needed for this song, because this song was just up here the entire song until we got to the ending where it came down. That's nice. That's nice. And it works. It does work where it is. I would have liked to have seen that as the bridge. And then end with the chorus strong and maybe end with a fade instead. But what they did was just fine. It works. Listen, it was there. It's there in the song. I'll take it. Not a bad way to end either. It really isn't. Not a bad way at all. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Tremonti with Cauterize. This was a request from Random Viewer. That's the name, and they're sticking to it. Okay, before we get to the score, we just have a couple of announcements we got to go over. I'm doing the announcements for every single video for the entire month of March. So if you've already watched one of the videos that pop up in the month of March, feel free to skip forward about 5 minutes, and you'll be able to skip the announcements because you've already heard them. Announcement number 1, we are going back to the old scoring system. I've already implemented that beginning on March 1st, so we are back on the old scoring system. You guys let me know that's what you wanted. We had the poll, you all voted, and about 2/3 of the votes said yes, go back. So we're going back, and believe me when I say this, folks, I have absolutely no problem doing that. That is totally fine with me. One of the reasons that we are going back to the old scoring system was that a lot of people with the new scoring system of the 5 stars were concerned that we would have an oversaturation of 4-star ratings. There'd be too many bands, too many songs getting the rating of 4 stars. And guys, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I saw that problem myself, and I'm not disagreeing with you guys at all. Here's the thing, though. The old scoring system had the exact same problem. If you go back and look at all of the scores I've given throughout the history of the entire channel, I would say roughly 2/3 of the scores that I've given have been between the range of 7.4 to 8.6. Now, I know a lot of people right now are doing the math in their heads and they're going, well, wait a minute, that's 13 different scores. That's a lot bigger than just one. You're absolutely right. It is a lot bigger than just one score. It's 13 different scores out of 100. That only gives you a 13% margin, which is a little bit smaller than the 20% margin you would have had with a 4-star rating out of 5. So it's a 13% margin, guys. It's a small margin. Now, I did say during the course of the live stream that we did to discuss the scoring system, I did say during that if we do go back to the old scoring system, I got no problem with it, but there's going to have to be some changes made to avoid the same problem. So here we are with the old scoring system, and I have already started making the changes. The changes are very simply this. I gotta get tougher, I gotta get harder, and I gotta make it more difficult to get those higher scores of 7s, 8s, and 9s. And we gotta refocus on making 5 the middle ground. 5 is the average. 5 is the middle ground for everybody to start at. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Nightwish. I don't care if you're Love Bites. I don't care if you're Pearl Jam. I don't care if you're Nirvana. I don't care if you're Bandmate. I don't care if you're BTS. Everybody starts at 5. Everybody does. And you can move your score up or you can move your score down. But from now on, everybody starts at 5. Getting a 7 is going to be a lot tougher now. Getting an 8 is going to be even harder. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks, getting a 9 now, it's going to be pretty much impossible. If you get a 9 now, boy, did you ever earn it. So just please keep that in mind, guys, that when you hear me give your favorite band a 5, it's not a bad score. That means it's average, okay? That's number 1. Announcement number 2. The whole reason that I went to a 5-star scoring system was to make things a little bit easier and a little bit simpler to comprehend and internalize and interpret for people coming into the channel for the first time. And during the course of the live stream, people were saying and giving the suggestion of, well, why don't you give the numeric score, and then why don't you give another score, give the star rating or whatever to reflect that score. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Seriously, I have no idea. You know, I'm not omnipotent. I'm not all-seeing and all-knowing, despite the fact that I sometimes try to act like I am. But guys, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. And sometimes I need a little help seeing the bigger picture. So to all of you that did attend the live stream and made that suggestion, thank you very much, because you really kind of opened my eyes and went, oh, there's more than one way to do this. So I am going to be giving my numeric score just like always, but I'm also going to be giving 3 other scores for a grand total of 4 different ways to give the exact same score. So we're going to have the old school numeric score. We're going to have a scale score where you'll have your great, really good, pretty good, okay, so forth and so on. We're also going to give a star rating. I'm going to keep the star system. And we're going to have 5 out of a possible 5 stars. And that will correlate with the numeric score that I'm going to give. And then I'm also going to give a letter grade for those people who just cannot seem to get their mindset out of elementary school. So, numeric score, scale grade, star rating, and a letter grade. Now, if you cannot internalize and interpret and be able to understand at least one of those 4 ways, then folks, I can't help you. I'm sorry. You might want to think about possibly going and checking out another channel, because I have a feeling this is not going to be the channel for you. So that's the announcements, guys. Let's move along to the score now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 5.7. Yep, 5.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, the 5.7. What does that mean? It's an okay scale score. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not in the negatives, all right? It's up in the positives, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. There is a 3-star out of 5 with that as well, so 3 out of 5 stars, and it also equates out to a C+ letter grade. Okay, so like I said, it's above average. It's above average. The middle ground is 5.0. This is getting a 5.7. So there you go, folks. It's in the positives for sure. Now, how did I come to that score? So glad you asked. It is an okay song, if I'm being honest with you. There's some good things happening for it, and then there are some other things happening for it that I'm just kind of like, not bad, but I'm curious as to why, you know? I'm going to take that ending, for example. Now, I want to be very clear. I liked the ending. I think the ending was really nice. I just think the ending was in the wrong place. That should have been the bridge, rather than the bridge that they had. I mean, the bridge they had was nice, it was good, but there was no dynamic shift. It was the same level as the chorus that it went into and the section before it. It's like, where's the pull down? Where's the dynamic shift? I mean, does it need it? No, but if that's going to be the case, then it better be a huge difference in, like, as far as modulation goes. And there was no difference in modulation. It just started in a different place, but in the exact same key. So it's like, well, I mean, it is a bridge. Technically, yes, we did go in a little bit of a different direction, but it wasn't very noticeable. The ending was noticeable, definitely. And I really think they should have taken that ending and made that the bridge. I like what was happening in there, especially with the bass taking the lead. That was a nice touch. I liked it. I definitely liked it. I just think it's in the wrong place. There were times where it felt like in the mix, it felt like the guitars and the vocals were kind of competing for dominance. Who's going to be the louder voice? Who's going to be the more important voice? And I'm going to be honest with you, folks, you should never have that struggle. That should not exist. One of the main reasons I'm not the biggest fan of Yngwie Malmsteen's solo material, guys, is because if you listen to the mix, I know it's Yngwie Malmsteen's project. I know it's Yngwie Malmsteen's, baby, and what he says goes. But one of my biggest complaints about his solo stuff is, you'll have the exact same problem that we have here. vocals and guitar are quite often with Yngwie stuff, quite often in competition with each other for dominance. Who's going to be the main line? Who's going to be the one running the show? And it should be the vocals. It should be. But with Yngwie, sometimes, you know, being Yngwie who he is, he'll put the guitar in front because Yngwie.
If I played that any faster, your minds would blow up because I'm so amazing. I'm the best.
I kind of got that feeling here a couple of times, and I was like, there really shouldn't be any competition. Vocals should be in the lead, but we did have it nonetheless. As far as the songwriting goes, it all made sense. Everything sounded fine, other than the ending. Like I said, I still think the ending should have been the bridge. But as far as like the chordal progression goes, sounded just fine. Made perfect sense. I did like the sextuplet play. That was really nice, giving it that illusion of being in that 3 feel, even though the truth of the matter is we were in 4/4 the entire time. They were just playing sextuplets inside of the 4. So that was fine. I dug that. It felt good. I think the biggest thing that went for this song, honestly, was the play and feel. The transitioning between the straight time to the double time, back to the straight time, to halftime, back up to straight time. The halftime was very quick. I think they could have stayed on that halftime a little bit more, or at least gone to it a little bit more. But it sounded really good, man. I like how it felt. The other biggest gripe I had about this song, honestly, was the overusage of harmony. Now, listen, I know it's Tremonti, and Tremonti is an offshoot or a side project coming out of Alter Bridge. And Alter Bridge, they do a lot of the same thing. They do a lot of harmonizations too. But I think they harmonize more here than they do with anything they do with Alter Bridge. Don't get me wrong, Alter Bridge uses harmonies, and they use them at will, but not as much as they use here. The harmonies are good, don't get me wrong, they're done well, they're well executed, they're clean, and they sound great, they do, but when you take something special and you overutilize it, it loses some of its shine. It loses some of its glitz and glamour. It loses some of its appeal, because now all of a sudden it becomes old hat. And I feel like that's what kind of happened here. The first time hearing it through, I was like, okay, that's really cool. The second time they did the exact same thing, and it was just an overusage. And I was like, okay, well, now we've heard every single line in the chorus twice now with all these harmonizations, along with the harmonizations that they were doing in the verses. So it takes away from some of the uniqueness. It takes away from some of the specialness. It becomes expected, and it just kind of falls flat. I already talked about how they could fix that. Just, you know, to take out half of the harmonies. Take out the harmonies on the first line and the third line, and keep the harmonies for the second and fourth. That'll cut the number in half right there, and that'll keep some of the uniqueness. It'll bring back some of the specialness. So I actually came up with an idea of doing it just on the third line, and then on the next chorus doing it on the third and fourth line. You know, I think that would make it even more special, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But in any case, it's okay. You know, it's not the best song I've heard from Tremonti, without any question, but it's definitely not a bad song. It's getting an okay score, which is, like I said, 5.7. So let's wrap this up in a great big shiny bow. 5.7, okay grading scale, 3 out of 5 stars, and a C+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. They all mean the exact same thing. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.